They're 4 weeks old, and these Labradoodles are incredibly messy. They're dirty from eating solid food, and guess what? We have our piranha teeth in. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and in today's video, we are going to give you a litter update for the 8 Rayneforest Warrior puppies. We're going to talk about toys, teeth, we're going to talk about desensitization, and we're also going to talk about their nutrition. So the puppies have finally graduated to solid food, and Reynolds will show you that there is their pan there in the front of their room, and their room is greatly expanded now. You can see there's all sorts of footprints all over the place because they still step in it. And it doesn't really look very appealing to us, but the puppies like it. So what are they eating? Well, they're still eating their formula that we had been tube feeding them around the clock for the last 3 weeks. That is still in there, and that's the Leerberg formula. So it's yogurt, and it's egg yolks, it's MCT oil, and it's a little bit of corn syrup and evaporated milk and some sterile water. Then on top of that, they have some canned food. Now the reason why they have some canned food is because I did not have access to any raw food that was mushy enough, if you will, for them to manage before they got teeth. So what they have is the canned version of 2 of the brands of raw food that Curated Canines carries. So that is Itty and Canine Naturals from New Zealand. So that comes in a tin. And then we also had some food that I do not normally give the puppies, which is Royal Canin Puppy Mousse. And it's a gastro mousse. And the reason why we incorporated that is threefold. 1, it's high in calories. 2, it's extraordinarily palatable to the puppies. So it's kind of like giving your kids McDonald's. It's not really that good for them, but for whatever reason, puppies really love the smell and the taste of it. And I can tell you it smells ghastly. I have no idea how they can stand to eat it, but it appeals to them. So we wanted them to, and the gastro portion of it also makes this transition from the formula a little bit easier on their tummies. So it was important at this point in time that they not be losing weight, that we keep their weight gains nice and steady. Well, we took them off of the syringe feeding, the tube feeding, and moved them over onto eating on their own. So puppies don't know how to lap naturally. They have to learn how to do that. That desire to suckle is incredibly strong. Now, if Rain were still with us, you would see even at pickup day that the puppies would be like, "Oh, Mom, the milk bar," and they'd be going to nurse like nobody's business. And that desire to suckle sometimes lasts a lifetime. Many of our adult dogs, including our own 11-year-old Peanut, like to suckle. So Peanut, as soon as she gets into her donut bed, she suckles on the edge, and she even does a little bit of kneading. Sort of like what you see with a cat sometimes. And contrary to internet lore, it is not because puppies have been taken from their mom too young. If these puppies do it, it won't be because they were orphaned. It is simply something that some dogs do. ALDs seem to be more inclined to it than some other breeds for whatever reason. So that is why we needed something that was so desirable that they would be convinced that it was okay to learn how to actually eat the food. So for the first few days, well, I guess the first week actually, we still fed them, we still tube fed them to make sure that their caloric needs were being met while they learned to eat from the pan. And then what we did was we reduced the amount they were eating so they would be hungry enough to actually be convinced to do that, because it's work. And then eventually hallelujah, when they turned 4 weeks old, they said, yeah, okay, we're good. We can do this around the clock. So they've now been 24 hours without being tube fed. We have been able to sleep for more than 3 hours. And so we're really excited about them achieving this milestone. Now, as you can see, we have got chew sticks in here with them, and you can see that there is some chewing going on here with purple color on my lap. And it's like almost instantly their teeth have all appeared. There was little nubs that you could feel, but starting yesterday, oh ow, you could tell that there were teeth there. And that's why I have my shoes on. And now you're probably thinking, she makes us take our shoes off when we come in. She talks about limiting outside influences and risks to the puppies. What's she doing with her shoes on? Well, these are my home shoes, so they're not bringing in anything that's foreign or unfamiliar to the puppies. But I have them on partially because they're chewing on them, and right now if they chew on my toes, ouch, it hurts. So that's why I have my shoes on, because when there's all 8 of them, it can be quite uncomfortable. So this is their first introduction to their chew sticks. And we're going to talk a little bit about teething and toys now for a minute. So first of all, teething is something that lasts for about 6 months, or rather not for 6 months, but until the puppies are 6 months old. When they're 6 months old, most of their teeth have fallen out and their adult teeth are coming in. And those adult teeth are not anywhere near as sharp as what these little piranha baby teeth are. Puppies are compelled to put everything in their mouths and chew. And the reason for that is because they need to get their teeth through. It's similar to a baby when they're getting their teeth. They drool, they put their fists in their mouth, they put everything in their mouth as well. So it's exactly the same, except for babies don't tend to bite us like puppies do. So you have to remember when your puppy does bite you, and they will bite you, that they're not trying to be mean, they're not aggressive, they're not nasty. They're doing what the instinct tells them they need to do to get their teeth through. So what we need to do as people is teach them bite inhibition and teach them how to differentiate between things that are okay to chew on and things that aren't. So for now, if they're chewing on me, as you'll see now, Purple's quite excited to chew on my thumb. I'm not reprimanding him, I'm not discouraging him, I'm not doing anything other than I am going to then show him the stick and hope he shows an interest in that rather than me. And now, if not, then I'll show him another toy. He also is probably getting ready to go to sleep. As you can see, most of them are crashing right at the moment. So that's all we're going to do at this stage. They're too young to understand. And we need to teach them, first of all, what our skin feels, smells, and tastes like. They need to know what it is before we can start to teach them. We would prefer if you don't chew on that type of thing. It's similar to your furniture. We don't want them to chew on the furniture before they learn that, but they have, it's a long learning process for them. So to set them up for success, we want to take things that are really valuable and readily accessible and make them so they're not accessible to them to chew on. And we want to make sure that things that we do want them to chew on are readily accessible. Now, if you go ahead and get a puppy starter kit, everything that you're going to see in our videos and at your puppy family visit day are typical of what you're going to find in there. The kits are curated for each puppy, as each one will have a different need, but basically there are some things that they all need, and one of those things is something to chew on. Now, this is one of my favorite things we give them, because it's good for all ages. It's really critical that you don't give them a toy that's inappropriate for their age. So if you see over here, we have a baby toy. And this is up here, it's got some springy boinky things, it's got some hard stuff, and it's really brightly colored. And I can tell you right now that the puppies cannot differentiate between the orange, red, and pink. They don't see that. That does not come across as a bright color to them. This is a kid's toy, so that's why it's in colors that human babies respond to. However, they can see it's here. When they walk past it, it moves, it bounces. They can grab on it. It starts to develop their eye-paw coordination, and it gives them a little bit of a surprise. It's got different textures, but it's fairly soft. So they get lots of relief from their distress of having their teeth come in. They can get their teeth into it. It's really important to don't give them something that's so hard that they can't get their teeth into it, and all they do is get frustrated. They don't get any pain relief when they can't get their teeth into it. Thank you for the kisses. And they get emotionally annoyed because they don't get that pain relief. Their bodies are telling them to chew, 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 chew. They're trying, they can't, and then they have all this discomfort. So this one here is great for a variety of ages. It's also amazing if you have children. What we want to do when we have younger children is we want to give a good amount of distance between our children's hands and the puppy's teeth. This toy is nice and long. It can also be knotted up when they're older, and you can see there's 2 knots on each end to provide something that's a little bit more robust. It can also shorten the distance, so it's great for playing tug when your puppy's older. But in this toy here, it has some stretch. In the fleecy part, there's lots of nice give, but it's interwoven with a nice, tough piece of probably nylon, I guess. And so this means the toy stands up better, and it also gives a little bit of rub and friction on the gum. So it's just a fabulous toy, and you do get these in your puppy starter kit. I really like them. It's a really great brand, and like I said, it has so many benefits for kids, and even if you, and there you see why puppies are so dirty. Purple just ran right through the pan of food and now has it all over himself. This is why things don't look particularly pristine, and why the puppies themselves are filthy, and why I'm wearing these clothes today, because it only takes 2 minutes of them climbing around on me and I'm head to toe in puppy food as well. So this is also a great toy if you have grandparents or anyone who has any mobility issues and they're not able to be on the floor to play with the puppy. They have to sit in a chair. So this is definitely long enough and easy enough for them to play with the puppy. So that's a little bit on toys and why it's very important to have the right ones. Now, the other thing that we're doing with the puppies, of course, is working on their desensitization. It's really important that they have lots of exposure to lots of different things. Now, we have them in an area where they are intentionally segregated so that we can give them the opportunity to have complete silence and have complete rest. Because that's really important as a puppy. They're growing. They're so busy doing so many things, and so much is happening in their lives that they really have to be able to sleep soundly. And so we want to be able to shut them off when they need that downtime. But we also want to make sure that they're getting all sorts of exposure, and they are not gone outside yet. I was just talking to Reynolds before the video saying, I wonder if they're old enough that we can start popping them outside. Today's a really windy, cloudy day. It's not cold, but it's not really warm and not the nicest of days. So I think we're going to wait until the weather improves a bit, but we'll probably have them outside. Well, we will have them outside before you come for your family visit next week when they turn 5 weeks old. So in the meantime, what do? Well, we do all sorts of things. So our dogs are coming in here regularly now. They've seen our dogs. That doesn't interest them in the least. I leave the door open and I let our dogs come in if they wish. Ripple will come in. She'll take a look around. Spirit growls at them, which is really good because that's how they learn respect for a strange adult dog. And Ripple will look at them. She'll check them out. What she's really looking for is to see if they have any good toys. If they do, she'll steal them. but she's not really too particularly interested in being best friends with them at this point. She doesn't find them to be interesting. She'll sometimes give them a lick, and she definitely sniffs them. So it gives them some good gentle exposure, and without overwhelming them too much. And also, we know there are dogs, we know where they've been. There's no threat of anything coming in with them. Now, the other thing we do is we ourselves make a lot of funny noises. So they're sleeping right now. They may not respond, but what we would do is something like, oh, ho, 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 ho. We got those puppies. Oh, ho, ho, ho. They're not even going to do anything. But I can tell you when they're awake, they're still pretty calm about it all. Now, when I sit in here with them like I'm doing right now, I'm just going to give you an example so you can hear the types of things that I play for them. Now, only Purple's awake, but you can see how he's interested. But he's not afraid in the least. He's curious. This is exactly the response that I'm looking for. And see how he's tilting his head? He's like, oh, cool. What's that? Oh, and look now, some more paying attention. There's green and burgundy. I'll see if anybody else wakes up over here. There's silver behind me. There we go, getting a bit of interest. But you get my point, that we've done all of this for them, we're exposing this to them while they're in a super safe environment, with that super safe environment being that they're either sitting on me or next to me. They know I'm here, and so they feel completely secure. And that's how we want to desensitize and later socialize our puppies. We want to take whatever the new experience is going to be. We want to start from a good distance away, or if it's a sound, at a very low volume. We want to make sure they're already relaxed and that they're feeling all comfy, supported, and then we introduce it very softly, gently, gradually. And as they become responsive the way we want, where they're like, oh, what's that? Like Purple first did, and then we get the head tilt and a little bit of forward motion because we're curious, then we increase it. Oh, and then Green's playing it for himself now. He's figured out how to turn my phone on. Start playing it for himself. There we go. They are smart puppies. I told you that. So that's what we're up to with them right now. They are, as I said, exceptionally dirty. That is because they do still walk through their pan. They have their food down 24/7 right now. Our order for curated canines has come in with their red dog, blue cat food. So we are going to be picking that up later today. And then we're going to start intermingling it very gradually with the canned food. I think I've probably got about 30 cans of food left. They go through between 12 and 18 cans of food a day right now. And in case you're wondering, yes, puppies are very expensive to feed. When you get your puppy home, for the first 3-4 months, that is the most expensive it's ever going to be to feed your puppy. Your puppy eats way more food as a puppy than they will as an adult. These puppies eat more than Spirit, who is 44 pounds, way more than Spirit does, because they are growing so much. And for the first 6 months, they are growing. And then after that, it starts to taper off. And by the time they're a year old, then they're at their adult rate. Many of them at 10 months are at their adult rate. So don't be having a heart attack when you see how much it is that they do eat at the beginning. And of course, they also go through a ton of treats because you're always learning together with them and you're wanting to reward them when they do the right thing. And I'm sure they'll do the right thing all the time. And plus, we do just like to give our dogs treats. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you is an elephant. I'm just going to get Reynolds to throw it over to me. This is another thing that we give them when we're doing desensitization. Again, this is a kid's toy. And what I'll do, they haven't seen this before. This is the first time. They're probably not going to do anything because they are asleep, but we're going to turn it on. And the ears in this elephant move.
Peekaboo, it's most fun for you. Where did you go? Peekaboo, I found you.
And sometimes we get zero response. Sometimes we wake up and we want to play with it. What I'm looking for here is I have no fear response. Now, if I had a puppy who came and approached Mr. Elephant here and was not curious, but instead was scared, then that would tell me I needed to do more work with that particular puppy. But you can see there that pink collar girl thinks, oh, this is kind of fun. What kind of a weirdo thing is this? By the way, do you have a milk bar? That's probably what she's most interested in. So those are all the different types of things and ways that we are working on desensitizing your puppy at this age. We want to be careful we don't overwhelm them. We do not do this for more than 2 15, 20-minute sessions a day. Usually I'll come in twice during the day and I'll hang out in here. Usually I say I'll be here for half an hour and I'm here for at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And I just let them do whatever they want. You'll see there's a whole bunch of them beside me, behind me. I'm letting these guys spend more time cuddling up beside and behind me because they don't have their mom. So I want to give them that other warm body snuggling experience. I wanted to make sure they have lots of opportunity for that. So lots of times I just come in here and sit. I'll scroll through my emails on my phone. If you get an email from me that has dreadful spelling in it, it's probably because I've typed it out while I'm sitting here with them. And I just be with them, just to give them that comfort and have them used to somebody different in with them. So that's where we're at. I'll give you a quick run through of their weights. I'm not going to pick them all up because they are sleeping right now, and I really don't like to upset their rhythm because we're working really hard on getting them into the right rhythm so that by week 6 we can have them down to eating 4 times a day on a schedule so that when they go home to you, they're ready to go home on a 3-meal-a-day schedule, and that they're not needing food overnight, that they know to sleep overnight, yada, yada, yada. Oh, and by the way, you'll see the crate is not in here right now. That was intentional just because it was getting to be too hard to keep clean with them walking through their food. They like their crate, they're fond of it. It will come back in again, but they're not missing out on anything for now by not having it here, and it's already enough of a mess with them. We have to do about 2 loads, if not 3 loads of laundry a day with these guys. So for our weights, we are at red collar is 1.75 kilograms. And then we have, oh thanks, the puppies had knocked that out for me. So our biggest puppy is still orange and our smallest puppy is still yellow. So they haven't changed, which really actually makes me very comfortable because that's how they were when they had Rain. That was their birth order. That was how they were when they had Rain feeding them. It tells me that we're doing the right thing, that something didn't make some big dramatic change, because there shouldn't be a huge shift at this point. They might change slightly by a few grams as to who's first and second, but I wouldn't want to have seen orange, for instance, go down to second to the bottom and yellow move up to the top. So red is 1.75, yellow is 1.44, and he is the smallest. Then orange, who is our giant, is 1.88. Pink is 1.64, silver is 1.55, green is 1.56, purple is 1.63, and burgundy is 1500. So they have done really very nicely. When we first moved them off to solid foods, we had a couple of them that went up to a 19% gain overnight. Normally, when they're up to 3 weeks, you're looking for around 8 to 10%. So 19% is rather enormous. Now we're slowing down on that, and we're working on around anywhere from 3 to 6% per day is what they're doing. I'm going to wean myself at the same time as we're weaning the puppies, and I'm going to quit weighing them every day, because if they aren't really exactly where I want them, if they're 5 grams off, I tend to get all worried and upset, and I don't need to be the helicopter breeder. I need to just let them be and understand that one day they might not gain quite as well, and the next day they will gain better. So I'm going to move it down to just weighing them twice a week. I can tell by looking at them if anybody is running into any difficulties or any problems. But they're all doing really nicely. I think you're really going to enjoy your family visit and spending time with these guys. They're very affectionate. They love people, and they're just a whole lot of fun. So for those of you who are on this list, you will get an email in the probably tomorrow, and that is going to give you more complete details for our visit on Saturday. We can't wait to meet you. Probably it will have to be inside, right in the doodle den, because there is rain forecast. If it's a nice day, we'll go outside, which is a lot more fun for everybody, but we'll just have to wait and see and play it by ear. But we're looking forward to seeing everybody. The puppies are going to have a great time, and it'll be wonderful because they'll have a bath, and for a brief period of time, they'll be clean, fluffy, adorable puppies. So thank you so much for watching today. If you have a sec, we'd really love it if you'd pop a comment here on YouTube. It always helps us out. Plus, I always enjoy talking to you. If you don't have time, even just a thumbs up is really helpful. And we hope you're all subscribed to our channel and that you are getting all of our regular updates. Thanks so much for watching. No video next week, but we'll see you after that.